Into Group H we go now, and it's Saudi Arabia taking on Uruguay in their opening match in this year's World Cup. Will they get off to the best possible start? Of course, or will they sputter their lives? We're going to get into it, all of it, next. That's right, we're back to another video today. We're taking a look at Group H, and it is Uruguay taking on Saudi Arabia, coming at you over in Miami. That's right. We'll get into that and much more in just 1 second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe. You want to subscribe for Blackburn Rovers World Cup predictions. That's right. We're going to all here under one roof. Saudi Arabia, of course, going under the radar. Nobody's talking about them. Nobody's even giving them an eye on it. But one thing they do have that everybody else doesn't have is, of course, an ex-Blackburn Rovers player, manager. That's right. Get into it. We'll talk about that, of course, in just a second. Big shout out to my members. Big shout out to patrons. Big shout out to you. We are talking about this game and each and every one of the games right here at this World Cup. Of course, can we get 48 likes, though? Cheeky request. We're trying to get the eyes on the prize here, and of course, including this game, which is a spicy one and an important one for those in Group H. So let's get into it then, shall we? Of course, it is Saudi Arabia up against Uruguay at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami on the 15th of June. Saudi Arabians come into, it's not the best bit of form for them at the moment, up against the Uruguayans, also not the best bit of form, and they're hoping to all change that up. Coming into this one then, are they? So let's take a look at Saudi Arabia, who qualified as AFC 4th round Group B winners. Securing the spot on the 14th of October 2025. They've been here 7 times in the past, the last in 2022. They're hosting one coming up here soon. 3 successive tournaments in a row. They are ranked 6th. They did have a round of 16 spot back in 1994, the last time they were in the USA, might I add, the World Cup. They were once managed by Hervé Renard, but that is now crossed out. Somebody needs to inform the editor that he's slacking off. But it is Georgie Donis is the coach here. Former Rovers player back in the 90s. Didn't really light it up, but he's got a nice managerial pedigree. Managed in Saudi, in the Saudi League. Got his reputation there, and now here he is to guide the national team. So there they are. They're currently captained by Salim Al Dawswari. VIP being Mohamed Kaino. They're ranked 61st according to the world rankings. With FIFA, they are underdogs here, 1,001 to lift the trophy. But this is how they qualified. They qualified via the Asian pathway. It did take them a long time to get there. They finished in 3rd place in the main group, behind Japan and Australia, who did qualify via the automatics. They were then put in an extra edition of qualifiers where they came out on top, ahead of also fellow qualifiers, Iraq, ahead of my boys, Indonesia, which couldn't get a point themselves. So pretty good, solid performance in the end. They realistically, when you looked at those nations, Saudi Arabia should be qualifying with the investment they put into the league right now, and which also benefits. Quick look at the personnel then for Saudi Arabia, the likes of Al-Akwadi at the back. We've got Bouchal as well, Lajami, Kadesh. We got Al-Amami, and to midfield, likes of Al Dawswari. We talked about Kano as well, all on the books of Al-Halal. Kariabi, Mandesh as well. And up top, likes of Al-Hamadan, Al-Shayeri as well. So an interesting set of squad players there. What about, of course, a starting 11? Can we get one? Can we get a squad 11? Yes, we can. Of course we can. Al-Qawadi between the sticks. Kadesh. We got Al-Miri as well. Tabaki, Al-Aqwarid, Al-Kahabi, Al-Jahani, Al-Dasawi, Kano, Mandesh, and Al-Budukan up top. That's, of course, Saudi Arabia. What about their opposition? Well, they are taking on Uruguay here and now. Uruguay qualified as co-MBL 4th place finishers in a very spicy, difficult qualification campaign as well. They qualified 4th of September 2025. This is their 15th tournament. 2022 was the last. 5 times in a row now for Uruguay. They won it. Of course, they were the first ever winners of the World Cup back in 1930, and then they won it again in 1950 at the old school rendition of the trophy. They are managed by Marco Bayelsa, with captain being Jose Maria Jimenez. VIP, though, Valverde in midfield. They're ranked 17th at the corner of the world rankings, and they're 66-1 to lift the trophy at the end of it. This is how they qualified. As you see, 4th place finish in a rather absolutely absurd qualification phase over in South America. They are just 1 point behind that of Ecuador in 2nd place, but level on points with that of Paraguay in 6th place. It was so tight, airtight, goal difference, madness. In fact, they got the same amount of goal difference as that Colombia. So I think it was goal scores that saw Colombia above them. Anyway, regardless of all that, they are in Group H, as are Saudi Arabia. And of course, they're talking about this match here and now. 15th of June, that's right, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. Then it's Uruguay against Cape Verde. So it'll be Saudi Arabia against Spain in the second game. Then Uruguay against Spain, and then Saudi Arabia taking on Cape Verde in that final game. And I do believe the Saudi Arabia against Cape Verde game is the most important game for Saudi Arabia. As for the most important game for Uruguay, it's the same deal. Cape Verde, get your 3 points in that game. Who knows? Who bloody knows? That's right. But let's take a look then at the key personnel for your Uruguay here. They've got like some Roche between the sticks, Jimenez at the back there. We've got Olvera, Caceres as well. Into midfield, Valverde, Bentancur, Ugarte. They've got some versatile players who can play in many, many positions. They've got Venus, Nunez up top. Of course, it is the first World Cup without Suarez, without Cavani, I do believe. So a very, very fresh look to the attacking lines. Anyway, this is the lineup I've got here with a 4-3-3. We've got Mele at the back, Olvera, Orjado, Jimenez, Valera. Into midfield, Valverde, Ugarte, De La Cruz, Aguirre, Rodriguez, Palestri at the moment. Looks like how it's going to be for the Uruguayans. Before we take a deep dive into this match, I'm going to hand you over to Eddie to talk about the Fanatics storefront for Blackburn Overseas. And Dirk, thanks again. Yes, we are always thinking here at Blackburn Overseas, and this summer is no different. We've got a brand new storefront, courtesy of Fanatics, our new partner. Big shout out to those guys. Link to that storefront is in the description down below. It also, hopefully, fingers crossed, should be on the screen right about now. Of course, we've got merchandise for Blackburn Rovers, official merchandise that is, World Cup as well. We've got all the good stuff. Make sure to check it out. If you're a sports fan, Fanatics is the place to be. Check that sucker out. Of course, every purchase you do helps the channel in some way, somehow, of course. But until then, it's back to Dirk in the studio. Quick look then, shall we, at the squad valuation. Squad for Saudi Arabia, 27 million euros for those players. They've got a much younger squad to that of Uruguay's 27.9 is the average age. Just 2 foreigners for Saudi Arabia. As for Uruguay, 362 million euros is the valuation of that squad. 28.5 is the average age. 28 foreigners on the books. They have played each other 3 times with 1 win apiece, 1 draw, 4 goals apiece as well. So they could not be separated. Quick look at the public opinion then for this group. They do think Spain will walk it at the moment. 88% of the vote. Cape Verde is actually in second place, would you add a minute, 6%. Saudi Arabia 2%, and Uruguay is in 4%. Goodness gracious me. So it looks a little bit lopsided. If you are a dreamer, like I am, you want to see how Saudi Arabia could get to the final, well, this is how they would do it. The more likely way. It will be a round of 32 match against Mexico, then England away in round of 16, Spain, Argentina, then either Belgium or Ivory Coast, would you rather believe it, in the final. That's if you finish in third. As for the opposition, Uruguay, I have got them tipped to finish runner-up. This is their pathway to the final. It would look like a round of 32 up against Argentina in the next round, with Turkey, Australia waiting in the round of 16, Portugal, Colombia, England, and then Spain, as you see it. That's, of course, if we are dreamers. Quick look at the vote for this game and this game alone. 11% for Saudi Arabia, 84% for Uruguay. The draw is at 5%. The public opinion is one way. What about the bookies? The bookies think Saudi Arabia 6-1 for this one. 50-21 on is Uruguay. 7-2 is the draw. So tight game, difficult game, could go either way. Not much in it, but I'm going to lean towards Uruguay to get the 1-0 win. Again, fine margins with their history books. First game syndrome, nerves and all that. So I don't think they're going to blow anybody out of the water or blow them out of the water here. I think they'll just have enough. One better moment of magic. And honestly, it'll just do it. I think Uruguay will be difficult to beat in this tournament. I don't think they're going to, but I don't think they're going to blow, I don't think they're going to be one of those teams that are going to make a deep run. I just think, especially this, I think Spain are going to have a difficult game as well, breaking them down. But right here, right now, I think for Uruguay, mentality-wise, they've got to get this win. 3 points in the bag. Cape Verde as well are waiting in the wings. So it could be a deep run, even though I just counteracted myself there, if they can finish above Spain. But that's a big ask. Well, there you have it, folks. There you bloody have it. That, of course, is my prediction. Let me know yours, of course, in the comments. The best and the worst will be featured in the review show when, of course, we come back to talk about this result. Of course, if you want to look at some other predictions made by myself at the channel, we've got the cat prediction. We've also got the ones made by a bunch of ping pong balls. Make sure to check those out as well. Link should be on the screen right about now. But until then, subscribe, smash the like. Catch you later. We're done.